Good evening, students. So let us do a quick revision of what we have studied in our last class, right? In our first class, we studied about what is management or the definition of management. Then we have gone through what are the characteristics or the features of management, right? Then we also discussed about whether management is an art or science, and we also talked about the basic functions of management in brief, right? So today we will continue with the rest portion which we did not cover in detail in our first class, right? So we studied why management is a science, or why we can consider management as a science, right? So management is considered as a science because it consists of some basic principles which are similar as in the case of science, right? And what? What more? কি কৈছা? Yes, in science, the way we conduct experimentation, the similar way we cannot do in case of management, but some kind of trial and error method can be applied in the case of management too, right? Then today we will see why management is considered as an art. And in case of science, when we consider management as a science, we consider that it consists of a systematic body of knowledge. In management also, we have to study various kinds of theories or the principles, right? Next, let us come to why management is considered as an art. In case of any subject of art, what do we see? We see that we apply the skills or the knowledge to practical application, right? যিকোনো এটা আৰ্টত আমি কি দেখোঁ যে we are using the creativity in it, right? Music, if we consider music and the musician এজনক কি দেখোঁ আমি যে musician এজনে যেতিয়া compose কৰে কিবা এটা music, he uses his skills and his own imaginary ideas, and he creates the various kinds of chords and music, right? Similarly, if we consider a painter এজনে কি কৰে নিজৰ ideas লগাই নে নিজৰ skills to apply কৰে, right? Similar is the case in case of management. Managementত managersবোৰে কি কৰে? How does a manager tackle a complex situation, or when any kind of conflict it arises in a organization? তেতিয়া managerজনে কেনেকৈ কি কৰে? He uses his own ways to solve or deal with the problems, right? হয়নে? So it can be considered similar to art, right? বুজিছা? বুজিছানে? Any doubt? Next, we see that in management, if we consider it as an art, we see that the manager uses his personal skills. Every manager has different ways of dealing with different kinds of problems. And this experience he gets while he uses his managerial skills over many years. লগে লগে এজন মেনেজাৰে কেনেকৈ বিভিন্ন ধৰণৰ চিটুৱেশ্যনছবোৰ টেকেল কৰিব লগে লগে তেওঁ মানে নেজানিব পাৰে, but over the years when he uses different kinds of tactics in dealing with different kinds of people, different situations, when he uses different decision making skills, then the manager will be able to deal with different situations, and this is his personal skill. বুজিছা কথাটো? হয়নে? কাৰণ because a manager is considered to be consisting of different kinds of skills. যেনেকৈ এজন মেনেজাৰৰ ওচৰত interpersonal skills থাকিব লাগিব, বা communication skills থাকিব লাগিব, decision making skills থাকিব লাগিব, right? So he should use his different skills in dealing with the situations. Next is the creativity. আৰ্টছত যেনেকৈ এজন মানুহে নিজৰ ক্ৰিয়েটিভ আইডিয়াছবোৰ ইউজ কৰে, similar is the case in case of management. So we can consider that management is a art form, right? Next, Sabha, the fourth point is your perfection through practice. So, we see that মই আৰ্টিষ্টৰ কথা ক'লোঁ, আৰ্টিষ্টৰ কথাই হওক বা ডেন্সাৰ এজনেই হওক, যেতিয়া যিমান বেছি প্ৰেক্টিছ কৰিব সিমান বেছি he or she will reach perfection, right? Similar is the case of a manager. The more he deals with various kinds of situation, the more perfection he will get. So, this is similar to the art. সেইকাৰণে আমি মেনেজমেণ্টৰ কিছুমান ফিচাৰ্ছবোৰৰ পৰা আমি দেখিব পাওঁ যে ইট ইজ কনচিডাৰ্ড এজ এন আৰ্ট। এণ্ড লাষ্ট ইজ ইয়ৰ মেনেজমেণ্ট ইজ গ'ল অৰিয়েণ্টেড লাইক আৰ্ট লাইক দ্য ছাবজেক্ট অফ আৰ্ট। আৰ্টিষ্ট এজনে কি বিচাৰে যে তেওঁ যেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ পেইণ্টিং কৰিব বিচাৰিছে সেই ফাইনেল যিটো পেইণ্টিং কৰে সেই পেইণ্টিংটোত সেই ফিচাৰ্ছবোৰ ওলাইছে নে নাই। চ' হি ইজ ডাইৰেক্টেড টুৱাৰ্ডছ ছাম গ'ল, ৰাইট? বিচাৰে নে যে তেওঁৰ পেইণ্টিংখন একদম পাৰফেক্ট হওক, ৰাইট? চ' ডেট এভৰিৱান বিকামছ এট্ৰেক্টেড টুৱাৰ্ডছ ডেট পেইণ্টিং। বহুত দাম দি কিছুমান এবষ্ট্ৰেক্ট আৰ্ট ফৰ্মছ কিছুমান মানুহে কিনে, দেখিছা নহয়, হয়নে? বিকজ হি অলছ' ৱান্টছ ডেট the goal is achieved, right? So, these are the features of your management as an art. Bujisa monot thakibo. So, what were the points? Let us do a recap. So, management jodi art buli consider koru. First is if we consider management as an art, we consider that like in art, in management also we use different kinds of skills, right? Next, in management, the manager should use his creativity and his own ideas in dealing with different situations under different circumstances, which is similar as in the case of art. And management is also goal-oriented as in the case of art, right? The next topic we will discuss is why management is a profession or management profession hoy ne nohoy. Tumalke ki boli bhaba? Management profession hoy ne nohoy? Ha? Hoy. Aru salibure, what do you think? Hoy ne nohoy? Hoy. Kyo? Kyo hoy ba kyo nohoy? So see, what are the subjects that we consider as a profession? Profession boli kole, we say that teaching is a profession. The medical studies, this is considered as a profession. Law is considered profession. So profession boli kole something which strikes our mind. What is it? That it requires specialized knowledge, right? Jikunu manhu edo goi pale tumar courtot goi pale argue koribo nware. He will require specialized knowledge regarding the constitution, regarding the various articles that are present, right? Similarly, in the case of medical studies, he will require medical knowledge to deal with the different kinds of diseases and he should have a specialized knowledge of medicines, right? Similarly, in case of management amar specialized knowledge lage ne lage? Lage? Because when we have studied in our first chapter itself, or the first things which we have discussed, say in management we study some kinds of theories. Although I have not started with the theories, but management er kisuman principles thake. Hoyne? By using those principles, we can deal with the different situations and we can tackle the solutions and we can do the task in a better way. Right? So, management we can consider as a profession to some extent through this point, right? Because in management also we require some kind of specialized knowledge. Hoyne? Next, management amak formal education lage ne na lage? Lage ne na lage? Anyone can be a manager or cannot? Ki bhaba? What is your opinion? So, see, with growing businesses, nowadays there is a demand for management as a profession, because the big business houses, they are wanting skilled persons who are particularly able to deal with different kinds of employees. Managers were আজিকালি যেতিয়া তোমাৰ বিভিন্ন ধৰণৰ বিজনেছবোৰ বাঢ়ি গৈছে হয়নে, businesses have grown and it has become complex nowadays হয়নে, আগতে বিজনেছবোৰ ইমান ডাঙৰ মানে institutions নাছিলে, আজিকালি বিজনেছবোৰ কিমান বিভিন্ন ধৰণৰ মানুহক এমপ্লয় কৰে হয়নে, they have different branches in different countries, and with more number of institutions growing up, the problems have also grown up hoine, because we are employing different kinds of people, and people when they work together they have different kinds of conflicts, and to deal with this kind of situations the business houses, they are wanting specialized people who will be able to deal with the people by using their specialized knowledge, because the managers, they need to understand the psychology of the employees, right? Hoine, hiyotor mindset to bujibo lagibo, then only he will be able to deal with the problems. So nowadays various institutions are offering your formal education, right? Azikali degrees bisare hoine, certified management trainees hobo lagibo, tetia he lobo hoine, loy hekarne we can say that management is a profession from this angle, right? The next point is that a scope for creating of post for that skill. There should be a scope for skilled consultants in the managerial positions. Hetu tumar thakibo lagibo. Next is your formation of an association by some consultants. Ami etia dekhu je lawyer ejone practice koribo karone teo Lawyers Association of India ba Bar Council of India pra তেওঁলোকক certification লাগে নে, doctor এজনে practice কৰিব কাৰণে he needs a certification, right, which is provided by the Medical Council of India, right? But in case of management, is there any organization which is providing some certification? Managementor ক্ষেত্ৰত আছে নে? আছে, কিন্তু that certification which is provided by that institution is not accepted worldwide. It is Medical Council of India janeke certification to all over India accepted. In case of management, tenikwa kuno certification nai. Although some organizations they are accepting it, but it is not accepted in the whole country. So tenikwa kuno formal association nai. Or because there is no such formal association, so there is no regulated entry to this professional course. June tune to MBA পঢ়ে আজিকালি দেখিছা, এজন ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰ এজনো গৈ পেলাই MBA কৰে, মেনেজমেণ্ট পঢ়ে, তাৰপিছত এইবা লয়াৰ এজনো ল পঢ়া ষ্টুডেণ্ট এটাও কেতিয়াবা হায়াৰ ষ্টাডিজত MBA কৰেগে, আকৌ গ্ৰেজুৱেট কৰা জোনে তোনে পঢ়ে হয়নে। মেনেজমেণ্ট কোৰ্চটোতো কোনো তোমাৰ অকল ছায়েন্সৰ ষ্টুডেণ্টছে পঢ়িব পাৰিব বা আৰ্টছৰ ষ্টুডেণ্টছে পঢ়িব লাগিব তেনেকুৱাতো কোনো কথা নাই, বিকজ ইট ইজ হোৱাট এনিৱান কেন হেভ দেট মেনেজেৰিয়েল স্কিল, ৰাইট? হয়নে, বুজিছা কথাটো? So because of the absence of any such association, there is no regulated entry to this professional course, right? Next is, which is a very important point in case of profession. Jikono eta profession hobole karone eta formal association thakibo lagibo. But in case of management, we can say that there is no such association. Bujisa? Although smaller associations are there, but formally eta universal eta heri nai tamne association nai. Okay? Next is your existence of a code of conduct among such professional men. Etia janeke medical studies or a doctor has to follow some ethics or ethical code of conduct. Janeke কি হয় কি পেশেন্ট এটাৰ ডিটেইলছবোৰ যাকে তাকে দিব নোৱাৰে, নিউজ ৰিপৰ্টাৰক পেশেন্টৰ কণ্ডিশ্যন হি কেনট ডিছক্লোজ এভৰিথিং অৰ দ্য ট্ৰিটমেণ্ট ইন কেছ অফ চাম কমপ্লিকেটেড ডিজিজ অৰ চাম ক্ৰুচিয়েল ইনফৰ্মেশ্যন হি কেনট ডিছক্লোজ, ৰাইট? বাট মেনেজমেণ্টৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত তেনেকুৱা তোমাৰ এক্সিষ্টেঞ্চ অফ আ কোড অফ কণ্ডাক্ট আছেনে? কোনোবা গভৰ্ণিং তেনেকুৱা বডি আছেনে যোনে এনেকুৱা কোড অফ কণ্ডাক্ট বনাব? নাই। বুজিছা মোৰ কথাটো? লয়াৰ্ছৰ ক্ষেত্ৰতো কিছুমান মানে কণ্ডাক্টৰ নিজৰ কণ্ডাক্টৰ বিষয়ে কিছুমান rules থাকে which is regulated by some professional association lawyers association bure kisuman rules of conduct guidelines diye but in case of management there is no such rules of conduct bujisa because the way of management is different for different managers and if you restrict the managers to such extent then he will not be able to use his own creativity right hoine hetu karone tumar management tuk ami sampurna rupe profession buli kobole nuaru it is an emerging profession and studies are being carried out to make it a full profession but fully eta profession buli ami kobo nuaru it is an emerging profession which is in which various studies or research is going on okay next readiness to respond to the needs of man etia doctor ezone jetia ezon patientok critical situation etat emergency eta dekha pai whether it is in the market or in the workplace যদি দেখে কি বেলেগ উছৰত কোনো ডক্টৰ বেলেগ ডক্টৰছ নাই তেতিয়া হলে he will go out of his way and he will try to save that patient right কিন্তু ম্যানেজাৰ এজন বেলেগ এটা অৰ্গেনাইজেচনৰ কিবা এটা কনফ্লিক্টত গৈ পলে can he get involved হ'ব পাৰিব জানো এটা suppose টাটা মোটৰছত কাজিয়া লাগিছে বেলেগ এটা কোম্পানীৰ ম্যানেজাৰ এটা গৈ পলে তাত পটককে হ্যান্ডল কৰিব পাৰিব নেকি নোৱাৰে নহয় so readiness to respond to the needs of man is not is মানে readiness to respond to the needs of man is acceptable in the case of other professions but unlike in the case of your management of managers pura completely he cannot go and devote himself to the service of other organizations bujisa kotha to okay any doubt buji paisa ma ki koisu are you understanding what I am saying you understand english buji poa hindi you are comfortable in hindi okay next let us see so it is considered that management is considered as a science because it has an organized body of knowledge which consists of several universal truths it is called an art because managing requires certain skills which are personal possessions of managers science provides the knowledge and art deals with the application of knowledge and skills buji paisa next let us come to the evolution of management evolution matlab history kaise management ka field kaise develop hua how did the subject of management became as it is today agor dinot management asile na nai asile kenake kobo paru asile boli kenake kobo paru আগৰ দিনতো তো ডাঙৰ ডাঙৰ হিষ্টৰিকেল মনুমেন্টছ বুৰ আছে তাজমহল আসলে তাৰ পিছত তুমি ইফ ইউ সি দ্য সিটি অফ ফতেহপুৰ সিক্ৰি বা যিকোনো তোমাৰ ডাঙৰ ডাঙৰ তোমাৰ টেম্পলছ বুৰ আছে ন যিবোৰ বহুত পুৰণি হিষ্টৰিকেল টেম্পলছ ইফ ইউ সি দ্য টেম্পলছ অফ সাউথ ইণ্ডিয়া অৰ উই সি দ্য মনুমেন্ট ইফ ইউ কনচিডাৰ দ্য মনুমেন্ট অফ তাজমহল কিমান বছৰ লাগিছিলে হয়নে was it built in 1 year or 1 month no it took almost 22 years right আৰু কিমান মানুহ লাগিছিলে জানা it took almost more than মানে 20,000 to 30,000 মান মানুহ লাগিছিলে so ইমান বৰ মানুহ 22 বছৰৰ কাৰণে for 22 years managing so much of men or manpower and তাৰ যিখিনি মাৰ্বল হেখিনি তো তোমাৰ সেন্ট্ৰাল ইণ্ডিয়াৰ কিছু পৰা আহিছিলে হয় না right the marble was not from India it was brought from different place in central India central Asia হয় না আমাৰ অসম আমাৰ ইণ্ডিয়াৰ পাতো নহয় তো ইমানখিনি বস্তু কেনেকৈ মেনেজ কৰিছিলে তেতিয়াৰ দিনত, or if we see the pyramids or any other, আমি যিকোনো এটা মনুমেণ্ট ল'ব পাৰোঁ, or the Great Wall of China. This took so many years to build, right? And so many people. But although it took so long, but it was completed. People had the patience, right? And imankhini manhu control koribole karne, materials control koribo karne. So it requires a good amount of management, right? So management was very advanced from that time also. But azikali ami research kori, we study in more detailed manner, right? So management is very old, but the research on management is done much later, right? So if we look at the evolution or the history of management, then we see that it is categorized into three headings. First is your classical theory. These things are not there in your book, okay, but still I think management bohile jodi tumi history to olopo na jana, I think it is not worth it. You need not remember everything, but at least some jeneke tumalgar eta scientific management theory to ki hoy bostu to buji lole hobo, and who gave the theory to kune dise, who found the theory or who gave the theory, and basic kotha khini. If you want, I can give you the notes, but if it is available online or if you go through other books of management, you will find it. Online salo hobo, online pai jaba tumalke buji pale hol okol, okay? So the first the first approach is your classical theory, second is your neoclassical theory, and the third is the modern theory. Classical theory approach to ki hoy, this is the traditional or the classical classic piece mane ki bujai je purana, very old, purani theory. Okay, this is the classical theory. Here we will study the bureaucracy or the Weber theory, which is given by Max Weber. Weber buli manhu ejon asile, teo disile ei theory to, so it is called the bureaucracy theory. So classical theory ki koise je at an organization will have some interrelated functions. Interrelated functions mane jikita functions of amar ami discuss korislu management or planning. Plan korim prothomote, in the process of management, first we will make the plans, then we will organize, then we will try to actually fulfill it, which is called actuating, and the last was controlling, where we try to see if there is any deviation from the plan which we have formulated. Ba aru edhorne ami features of management kobo paru je the basic functions of management are your planning, then organizing. Jetia ami manubur eta organization at long, that process is called as your staffing, then directing and controlling. Directing mane what we do. In directing, we ask the members how to do the things. We give them the guidelines or we direct them, right? And last was your controlling. These were the functions of our management, right? So in classical theory, it is considered that the elements that are present are your interrelated functions. Tamne a functions bur eta function itu functioner logot related hoy ase. Next is there will be some guiding principles in the classical theory. Next is the bureaucratic structure. Bureaucratic structure mane there will be a authority who will give the guidelines to the employees how to behave or how to do the task. Authority thakibo. Bureaucratic structure ki dekho, that means it is a formal structure. It will have a formal employee-employer relationship will be there, right? That means the employees will have to follow the orders of the superiors. Similarly, the employer, he will give the orders. Then there will be a what? Hierarchy. Hierarchy mane eta formal structure eta thakibo. Like the top level managers would thakibo, teor tolot middle level managers would thakibo, tar tolot the bottom level managers would thakibo. Hey hierarchy to maintain hobo lagibo. Last is your, in the classical theory it is said that there will be a reward punishment system. Reward punishment system thakibo lagibo. Then only the working of the organization will be conducive, right? If an employee, if he doesn't come in time, and every day the employer is seeing him, but he is not taking any action against him, then ki hobo? Hetu to tar adat boni jabo hodai late coming kora, hoine? And he will gather the same amount of salary, then it will be injustice to the other fellows who are coming on time. Bujisa? Hoine? So, in a organization, there should be reward and punishment system according to the classical theory. Aru tate first jitu theory dise Webere, teo koise, je there should be a hierarchy. Next, division of work thakibo lagibo. Division of work means we have to divide the jobs into various categories and allot specialized people to do the jobs. Bujisa? Division of work mane ki koiso mo bujisa? Division of work matlab jo jis work ke liye uska skills अच्छा है, उसमें ही उसको employ करना है. अगर कोई what? अगर कोई सीविंग में अच्छा है, कपड़ा सिलाई करने में अच्छा है, तो उसको वही काम में देना है. Not in other work. A person who is able to what? Put the thread on the needles. He should be allotted that work only. माने जिसको जो काम अच्छे से आता है उसको वही काम में देना है और उसी तरह से हम लोगों को वो jobs design करना है. Right? You got it? So we have to, in bureaucracy or Weber theory, we have seen that there should be division of work. Right? Next, bureaucratic structure thakile, rules and regulations must be strictly followed. And there should be records of the things and the decisions that are taken in the organization. Bureaucratic structure means ekdam formal. There is no scope for any informal relationships. एकदम पूरा फॉर्मल माने ऑफिस टाइप रूटीन ऑफिस टाइप पूरा रिलेशन्स पुर माने एकदम टाइमली যাব লাগিব অফিসৰ কাম কৰিব লাগিব যিখিনি ডাইৰেক্টিভস দিয়া হয় যিখিনি ডেইলি টাস্ক দিয়া হয় এখিনি টাইম মতে কৰিব লাগিব এভৰিথিং শুড বি ভেৰি ফৰ্মেল দ্যাট ইজ কল্ড এ bureaucratic structure and the officers they are called as the bureaucrats right বুজিছা and there is no scope for any impersonal relationship tar mane the punishment which is given to one employee should be similar to another employee if he comes late. Jodi sweeper jon jodi late hoy, teoku punishment dibo lagibo, or employees jon jodi late hoy, teoku similar kind of punishment dibo lagibo. Not that everyone is treated in a different manner, whatever may be the reasons. There should be no what favoritism. Eku tumak special treatment should be given to no one. So that is called as impersonal relationships. So in a bureaucratic structure or bureaucratic theory, there is no scope for your informal relationships. There should be a hierarchical structure where the authority power relationships are maintained between the employee and the employers and everyone should what should follow the rules and regulations right monot thakibo a word to monot rakhile hoy gol this theory is given by Weber and bureaucrat word to pray monot rakhiba is a very autocratic type mane structure to there is a difference between bureaucrat and autocrat bureaucratic structure mane formal structure boli dhorilwa okay next is the administrative management theory. Administrative management theory, this theory was given by Henry Fayol. Monot rakhiba de naam to Henry Fayol. So Fayol gave 14 principles. 14 principles disile. He gave 14 principles which are considered universal and which is true in case of any organization. Any organization jodi ami kaam to bhal dhorne koribole hoy, then we have to follow these principles, right? Yet slides are nai baru, but you can note it down. It's not there in the slide, you can note it down. Write down. Henry Fayol's, write down. Henry Fayol's administrative theory. Henry, H-E-N-R-Y, Henry Fayol, F-A-Y-O-L, Y-O-L, Fayol's administrative theory, A-D-M-I-N-I-S-T-R-A-T-I-V-E, administrative theory. He gave certain principles to carry out the administration in an organization. Okay, write down the first point, write down division of work. First note it down, then I'll explain. Division of work. Number 2, authority. Authority. Number 3, discipline. Number 4, unity of command. Unity of command. Number 5, unity of direction. Number 5, unity of direction. Number 6, subordination, S-U-B-O-R-D-I-N-A-T-I-O-N, subordination of individual interest to group interest. Next, remuneration, R-E-M-U-N-E-R-A-T-I-O-N, remuneration. Number 8, centralization. Centralization. Number 9, scalar chain. Scalar chain, S-C-A-L-A-R, scalar chain, C-H-A-I-N, scalar chain. Next, order, O-R-D-E-R, order. Next, equity, E-Q-U-I-T-Y. Next, stability of, S-T-A-B-I-L-I-T-Y, stability of tenure, T-E-N-U-R-E, stability of tenure of personnel, P-E-R-S-O-N-N-E-L, double N-E-L. Personnel means those employees, okay, who are working for the organization. Number 13, initiative. Number 13, initiative. And the last one is esprit, E-S-P-I-R-I-T, esprit, D-E. It is, no, give some gap after esprit, E-S-P-I-R-I-T, esprit, D, D-E, C-O-R-P-S, C-O-R-P-S. Esprit de corps. C-O-R-P-S. Right? So let us come to the first point. According to Taylor, a work can be done in a better way if there is division of work. If I ask you to organize a picnic, then it will be better if the whole class organizes it, or only this person, he takes the entire duty on his own. He okole kam to korile picnic to organize korile bhal hobo ne if the whole class is organizing, considering everyone as a team. It will be good. Kuntu bhal hobo? Whole class, right? And because in that case, what will happen? In that case, everyone will do the task which he can handle properly. Kunbai jodi khana to manage koribo pare picnicor, he hetu kam sabo. Kunbai recreational activities kini sabo. Kunbai ক'ত যাম হেখিনি প্ল্যান কৰিলে সো জুনে যেটো কাম ভালকে পাৰে হেটো দায়িত্ব ললে the whole picnic will be arranged in a better way, right? Similar is the case in an organization, division of work in which there is specialized persons working on the jobs will be better, right? Next is your second point to ki asle tomar authority and responsibility. When there is authority in the organization, it should also be accompanied with responsibility. Right? Hednakhonu moi eketa kotha koislu, eta organizationat the person who is holding that particular position, he has the authority or the right to give commands to others, and others, they have to follow him and report to him regarding the completion of the task. He cannot say that I will not do this or anything of that sort, right? Henuka korile to directly uliyai dibo, right? So there should be authority and responsibility. Titia hole kam to organization etat bhal hoy. Next is your discipline. Discipline of what? Of what? Discipline ki bostur discipline thakibo lagibo organization to. Discipline of doing the work, discipline of coming to the organization, right? Fulfillment of the task. Everyone should understand his or her own what? Duties, right? Next is your unity of command. Unity buli bujile kole ami ki buju? One buju no? Unit buli kole one buju ami. So unity of command, that means the command should come from only one superior or a boss. As on manhue he guidelines or directives dibo lage nijor junior jonok. Bahut gizon manuhor pra jodi directions ahead, then the subordinate will get confused, right? So that is called your unity of command. Similarly, the next point is the unity of direction. That means everyone should work towards the fulfillment of the same objectives of the organization rather than his own what? His own personal interest, right? And the way of doing things should be in the same direction, right? Because the objectives are same. Objectives mane the ultimate jitu eta organizational jitu goal thake. School ekhonar ki thake objective to? Ultimate objective is that the students pass out with good results, right? So that should be the motto of every class teacher, to teach the students in a good way. Hoy ne? Ne teacher jone bhabi thakibo je moi aji A2 classot keneke loa sali gitak dhuniya ke mane nijor phale attract kori tuition lobo par. Hetu objective thakile to nohobo, right? Hoy ne? So similar is the case of the organization. Next is your subordination of individual interest to common good. Etu bujisa? Etu easy hoy je we have to think for the ultimate objective. Next is your remuneration of personnel. That means remuneration বুলিলে কি বুঝা যে কাম কৰাৰ বিনিময়ত যেটো দৰমহা পাব, that should be fair and that should be equal. মানে যিমানটো কাম কৰিছা সেই মতে দৰমহাটো পাব লাগে. গুটে দিনটো খাটাৰ পিছত তোমাক মানে এটা এমপ্লয়িক 10 টকা দিলে হ'ব? Will it be fair? No, because that is not in accordance with the skills that he possesses. So remuneration should be fair and equal in the case that if two persons who have the similar kinds of skills, similar qualification in the similar grade, then he should get same kind of salary and incentives and the benefits. Next is your order. Order mane order bulile ki bujaise, the materials and the people should be in their own proper order, or hiati nijor jitu order mane bujaise je jitu kamot hiatok dia hoise, they should be entitled to the same work. Bujisa mane jitu kam ba daitto dia hase hetu kamot he hiati thakibo lagibo. Okay, so that is the meaning of your order here in this according to Fayol. Next is centralization. Centralization mane there should be a centralized what? Centralized body or department who will give the basic guidelines for all the branches of the organization, something of like that. Bujisa? Centralization. Janeke amar banks or khetrot ami ki dekho, we see that for all the banks, lower level banks, the main guidelines are coming from whom? The Reserve Bank of India, which is the mother organization. Hoy ne? Main banking or khetrot sob horu bank hok, tumar SBI hok, Punjab National Bank hok, hiyotor guidelines bur kone diye? Reserve Bank of India. So that is the centralized body which is sitting on the top and giving the directives to the other what branches. Similarly here also there should be a centralized body in case of any organization who will give the basic guidelines or the managing principles to the other similar kind of organizations which are in the industry, right? Next to ki hoy scalar chain. Scalar chain mane that graded chain of the managers. Jitu hierarchical structure to koislu je, which I talked about it, his structure to tamne maintain hobo lagibo. That means authority should come from the top, right? Aru obedience of the rules should be from bottom. Tolor manubure hoday upor manuburor orders bur follow kori jabo lage, hoy ne? He is not very much into, he cannot question the directives of the superior level managers, right? So he kotha to bujaise that scalar chain of authority should flow from the top to the bottom. Next is your equity. Equity bulile ki, it comes from the word what? Equal. Equal word shobdatur pra ahe bujaise, hoy ne? So here equity means that the employees in an organization, they should be treated with kindness and what? Kindness and love, right? In an organization, people should be treated kindly, right? With a humane approach, okay? Equally. As a manager, his behavior should be same towards the other employees. The employer should treat the employees equally, right? As an employer, jodi kunba family member ta junior thake tak besi favor dibo nware. Favoritism cannot be there in an organization, right? Next is the initiative. Initiative mane managers should take the initiative in case of any conflict type of situation or when any requirement in an organization arises. Hoy ne? Eta organization jetia manager ejonor nije mane decision luar homoy ahe, he should be taking that initiative, right? And the last one is esprit de corps. Hetu tumalke enake bhabiba that a word to saba spirit buli ase. Spirit to dekhile tumalke bhabiba team spirit. So organization etat, when people are working in an organization, they should work as a team. So ekhini bostu to eta Fayol's 14 principles of management are considered universal because this is true everywhere. Hoy ne? Jikono dhoroner organization to ekhini principles, these principles will hold true, right? So these are called universal. Okay? Bujisa? Stability of tenure and kesle of personnel. Stability of tenure মানে tenure বুলি ক'লে কি বুজায় এটা period. Eta organization a person works in an organization for a fixed duration of time. হয় না এটা definite সময়ৰ কাৰণেহে এজন employment দিয়া হয় হয় না tenure বুলিলে কি বুজায় during his tenure তাৰমানে তেওঁৰ up to the age of the retirement that should be a stable one. এজন employer যেতিয়া এজন employ কৰে নিজৰ organizationটোত job এটা দিয়ে then যেতিয়া জবটো দিয়ে তেতিয়া job description এটা থাকে ন যে তোমাৰ আমুক যে 60 years তোমাৰ ৰিটায়াৰমেন্ট হ'ব ৰিটায়াৰমেন্টৰ পিছত তোমালকৰ এখিনি তোমালকে ৰিটায়াৰমেন্ট বেনিফিটস পাবা কাম কৰাৰ সময়ত তোমালকে এখিনি স্যালাৰি পাবা দিস থিংস আর fixed something না মাজতে তো হলাই দিব নোৱাৰে ন যদি if it comes from the government যে age to বদলাইছো then it is different thing but organizations cannot change it on their own anytime and at any time when they like right হয় না গভর্নমেন্টে যদি কিবা রুলস বদলি কৰিছে then it is a different thing but হে tenure to stable হ'ব লাগিব right হেতুৱে বুজাইছে and when any kind of vacancy arises in an organization there should be scope of filling that position immediately হেতুকে বুজাইছে stability of tenure of personnel বুজিছা clear আৰু কিবা থাকি গল নেকি হৈছে so clear jikita buji poa na you can take some time and mane note it down so that you remember the things okay jodi kiba mane monot rakhibole okhubida hoy you can just write the keywords in the copy point to side ot likhi lobo para right okay then I'll continue with the next theory. So administrative theory to bujisa I am not going into the criticisms of the theory because that is not required iman details ot nalage just bujile hol administrative theory a principles kita monot rakhiba then this is very important etu tumalge nijo olop bhalke dhyan di pohibo para this is the scientific management theory by Taylor Frederick Taylor etu scientific management theory this is the most important of these theories the first three scientific management theory ki koise je we have to design the task in a scientific way tar mane if Taylor manujone this person Frederick Taylor he observed the company in which he was working he observed that people or the employees who were working in the factory they were taking very much time কাম কৰাৰ কোনো নিয়ম নাছিলে কোনো টাইম টেবল নাছিলে কোনো স্ট্যান্ডার্ডস নাছিলে so people were not motivated to do the work to their capacity jimankhini parisile himankhini kam nokorisile because the employees they feared that kam to jodi hunkale hek kore then they will be fired from the job or they will be given some more task to perform which is unrelated বুজি পাইছা মই কি কৰিছো আগৰ দিনত যেতিয়া টেইলৰে জিটো কোম্পানীত জিটো ফ্যাক্টৰীত কাম কৰিছিলে তাত বহুত এমপ্লয়িজ আছিল and he was the manager of that steel company and he observed that people who were working for that company who were doing the various tasks in that steel company they were taking a lot of time বহুত সময় লাগিছিলে যাৰ জিমান মন যায় হিমান সময় লগাইছিলে there were no work standards working conditions were not good so he thought that why is it that the factory is doing the task in such a unorganized manner and he tried to study that what should be the best way of doing the jobs so that the wastage can be minimized and the efficiency of the workers can be increased okay workers को कैसे उनसे ज्यादा काम कम समय में अच्छे से निकलना है वो उन्होंने स्टडी किया क्योंकि जो एम्प्लॉइज थे वो लोग बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम ले रहे थे वो लोग जल्दी से काम ख़त्म नहीं करते थे क्योंकि उन लोगों को डर लगता था कि अगर जल्दी से काम ख़त्म कर देंगे तो वी विल बी गिवन अनदर जॉब हम लोगों को और ज़्यादा काम दे देगा जिसके लिए उन लोगों को भी पैसा भी नहीं मिलेगा बिकॉज যদিও কামটো কৰে दे विल गिवन द सेम अमाउंट ऑफ मनी सो एको मोटिवेशन आसले कि कारणे हुनकाले भालके कामটো কৰিম পইচাটো তো একেই দিব হয় নে? So that was the fact behind this scientific management theory. So after studying, he conducted some studies which are known as time and motion studies. Kisuman study korile hi je kun dhorone kamtu korile kamtu better hobo, and he found that if the task is scientifically designed, then the efficiency of the workers will increase. Tar mane scientifically designed task, tar mane he found out that if the workers who are employed in the various kinds of jobs, if they are employed according to their skills, hihotar jodi nijor skills mote hihotok kamtu koribo dia hoy, then they will perform better. Aru kamtu jenekwa dhornor kam tenekwa skill thoka manhuokhe ami job tu dibo lage. Bujisa? The people who are capable of doing that job should only be employed for doing that particular task. He company tut ki asle jak kam tu najanisle taku he kam tu jabardasti korua hua nisna asile. He karone kam tu bhal nasile. There were no work standards. Next, he studied about the time and the different motions. Mane kam tu kiman time ot eson average worker complete koribo pare. He studied about that. If the working conditions are conducive or good, average eson manhue kiman homoy lagibo? Eson manhue 10 page likhibole kiman homoy lagibo? Suppose I am taking the example. How many of you can write 10 pages in 10 minutes? No one? But half an hour? Pariba? 10 pages? Okay? So that will be the average speed of the workers. Similarly, he studied the average time that is required by an employer or a worker to, employee or a worker to complete the task. And then he gave some standards. Je iman khini homoyar bhitorte kam to complete koribo lagibo. In that case, you will get some incentives. Jodi homoy mote kam to kore, he will be getting some benefits or incentives. And if he cannot complete the work within that particular time frame, then olop kom dibo. Karon eku poisa nidiake to kam koribo noare no. That will be against the work rules, right? So jodi time ot complete kora, he will be given a particular amount, and if he time mote complete nokore, then he will be given some amount less, but there is a vast difference in the payment. Okoman difference thake, which will actually motivate the workers to complete the work within that particular time frame, right? He also studied the various motions of the workers. Motions mane moi jodi eta tumalgok ইয়াৰ পৰা হে কোনবা এখন দোকান এখনৰ পৰা কিবা এটা বস্তু আনিব দিও. If I ask you to bring some stationery from a nearby shop, I will tell you the name of the stationery. Okay, and মই কলু তোমালকক যে I need these items. কোনবাই খুস্কাৰি যাব পাৰে, কোনবাই সাইকেল লৈ যাব পাৰে, কোনবাই বাইকত যাব পাৰে. So everyone will have what? Different traveling time, but which will be the best way of bringing back the stationery? Baikot gole hobo. So similarly, this person Taylor, he tried to study the various motions of doing a job on a machine. Jikono eta machine ot kam korar various motions bur study korile, hand movements study korile, bhorir movements study korile, hatkhon jodi eneke putuke kisuman mane doli mari dile hunkale hobo ne, lahe lahe anile bhal hobo ne, he eneke every motions of the workers were studied. And lastly, he concluded that what is the best way of doing the job. Okay? Hetu kwa hoy time and motion studies. Time homoy to study korile and motion to study korile. Right? He also tried to bring about some changes in the working of the factory by by formulating some standards. Standards kisuman di dile. There were standards for everything regarding the quality of the products that they are producing, regarding the working conditions. For everything he derived some standards. So bosture standard di dile je ekhinitke below this limit it will be not considered as a what good quality product, right? So bosture he standards di dile. So when the standards were given, then everyone will be trying to do the things in a better way in which they can perform, right? Aru ki koisle agote jitu payment hiatok dia goisle employees bur that were hourly system ot dia hoisle 1 ghonta wise dia hoisle 1 ghontat kisumane besi korisle kisumane kom korisle. There were no standards, but etia he introduced the system of differential piece rate system. Hetu ki hoy je sob manubure beleg homayot complete kore. So the person who completes within short time or short duration of time, he will be given his payment according to the time. Or the mane bostu tu kiman homayot complete korise, kiman bhal product bonaise, heburok uporot base kori payment tu kora hoisle. That was varying from person to person. Beleg person or nijor skills, capacity, aru nijor product to bonua homoy to sai pale tumar payment to kora hoisile. That is called as your differential piece rate system. Agote ki hoisile hourly rate system ot dia hoisile. Hour wise. June jiman complete korilo he hourly he poisa tu dia hoisile. But now it was differential. It was different from person to person. Okay? And last was functional foremanship. Jitut kwa hoise je the factory was consisting of different components, and where every person or the manager, every person was put under a supervisor or the employer who would be looking into that particular section only. Tamne gute factory tour employees khinik ba workers khinik divide kora hoisile under some specialist who would be looking into that particular field only. Kom paisa? Mane kisuman specialist or underot divide kora hoisile. Janeke there will be a what? Supervisor supervise koribo okol. Then foreman jone কি কৰিব নিজৰ আন্ডাৰ যিখিনি মানুহ আছে হিহঁতক চাব ক্লাৰ্ক জনে ক্লাৰিকেল কামৰ যিখিনি এমপ্লয়িজ আছে হিহঁতক চাব right in that way the whole factory was divided. So that was the theory behind your scientific management, right? বুজিছা? Next কি থাকিলে neoclassical theory আৰু modern theory. এগিটা আমি next classত পঢ়িম. And along with this, I will start with the third chapter. Because second chapter to no, all of basic tumalgar planning functions kini porhar pisot etu pohile bhal hoy. Jitu tumal duta theory ase stewardship theory and agency theory. I will start the third chapter first, then I will start with this second chapter. Okay? Do you have any doubts? Tan no hoy, ha, bostu to tan no hoy. Just you are hearing some terms which are new to you. Terms mo notun hobo pare, buji nepale okoman mu hudibo para, or you can search in the internet also. You will get the meanings. Ekini bostu these are not there directly in your book, but management or ekini basics hoy. Ekini history to okoman janibo lage. Okay? So in my next class, I will just discuss these second and third approaches, and then I will start with the third chapter, which is planning. Okay? Thank you.